Welcome to the Missing Link Phonemic Awareness in Kindergarten. My name is Madeleine Curtis, and my co-presenter is Paige Burchard. And we are here to explain to you the importance for phonemic awareness instruction in kindergarten, why it's so important, and how you can do it effectively in your own classroom. So today's objectives are pretty simple. We're going to start by defining phonemic awareness. We're going to identify the need for phonemic awareness instruction. Then we're going to give you practical, evidence-based phonemic awareness instructional ideas that you can take back to your classroom right away. Lastly, we will identify all of the resources that we've shared and then a few extras that you can access at any time after this presentation. We will share all of this with you. So let's begin by defining phonemic awareness. What is it? So phonemic awareness falls under the large umbrella of phonological awareness. And it can be defined as the ability to manipulate phonemes, the smallest units of spoken language. So as you can see with our little umbrella visual here, phonemic awareness is the most complicated task of phonological awareness. It's dealing with the individual sounds in words. Let's look at that a little bit more. So sometimes it can be helpful when we're defining things to talk about what it's not. So here we have a comparison of phonemic awareness and phonics. Those two things are often very confused. So let's look a little more carefully at both. Phonemic awareness is auditory and oral. And a lot of people can say it can be done in the dark. It can be done with your eyes closed because it's dealing with sounds. For example, you could be segmenting sounds. So you might say, what are the sounds you hear in cat? And that you would respond by saying k, a, t, dealing with the individual sounds in cat. Whereas in phonics is more visual. It's connecting the sounds with the alphabetic principle. So we're going to be dealing with actual letters. So instead of dealing with the sounds in cat, we might say, oh, I can use letters to write cat, C-A-T. Phonemic awareness and phonics are very much connected, but they are two distinct elements in literacy development. So what? Why is this important to you as a kindergarten teacher? So there is so much data that explains to us why phonemic awareness instruction is so important. And I want to share a little bit of that with you today. So of students with reading problems, it's suggested that more than 90% of them have a deficit in phonemic awareness. That's massive. That tells us that there is a big phonemic awareness problem in our country. But even more so, why is phonemic awareness instruction important to you as a kindergarten teacher? It's that 25% of students, a fourth of students going into first grade, do not have proficient phonemic awareness skills. So we as kindergarten teachers need to be focused on better equipping our rising first graders with the skills they need in phonemic awareness. And then finally, one reason that you really should care about phonemic awareness is how great of a predictor it is of overall literacy performance. Here we have cited that phonemic awareness is can more accurately predict overall literacy performance better than factors such as intelligence, vocabulary knowledge, and socioeconomic status. Phonemic awareness is a big deal. And in case you are not fully convinced yet, here we have even more research citing phonemic awareness is one of the best predictors of how well children will learn to read. So phonemic awareness is not just a skill by itself. It's a skill that is essential to all of literacy development. Now, that can maybe seem a little overwhelming, but there's really good news that while phonemic awareness is a big problem right now, it's a problem that we, teachers, can fix. We can help this problem because phonemic awareness instruction and interventions in early grades can be highly, highly effective at improving reading outcomes. So just to get a little bit of a better picture of where phonemic awareness falls, maybe in your curriculum or in your classroom, I wanted to share with you this wonderful reading rope. Some of you may be familiar with it. But here we can zoom in and see in the blue that phonemic awareness falls under the word recognition category, particularly under phonological awareness. And here we see that it is an essential strand to developing skilled reading. Phonological awareness, but specifically phonemic awareness, is what leads students to being good decoders. It's what leads them to automatic word recognition. And as we build automatic word recognition, we build their ability to comprehend the text because it removes the barrier of focusing so much on sounding out each individual word. So this reading rope is an excellent big picture at seeing where phonemic awareness falls into your students' reading development. So now you might be thinking, how do I have time to fit all of these things into my classroom? Well, the good news is phonemic awareness is a part of our standards. They are a part of the Common Core state standards as well as the North Carolina state standards, which we'll have linked later in this presentation for you. But here I wanted to just pull out the Common Core state standards and where we can find phonemic awareness. They're in the reading foundational skills. And here we see the overarching one is demonstrate understanding of spoken words, syllables, and sounds, or phonemes. So that sound portion is the phonemic awareness, which again is the most complex part of phonological awareness. And so students are expected to be able to isolate and pronounce initial, medial, and final sounds in words. And they're expected to be able to add and substitute individual sounds in simple one-syllable words. So today we're going to give you a lot of activities that can help you meet your state standards in your classroom. Now, before we get into those specific activities, I want to talk a little bit about what phonemic awareness instruction should look like in your classroom. So, based in research, particularly from the National Reading Panel report, they found that one, teachers are really effective at teaching phonemic awareness, so that's really good news. But they also found that small group instruction is the most effective way to teach it. Okay, so instead of doing whole group instruction or just individual instruction, grouping students into similarly skilled groups to teach phonemic awareness is a highly effective strategy. Then on top of that, phonemic awareness is not something that's going to take you a lot of time in your classroom. In fact, research has found that phonemic awareness lessons are most effective when they're quick, when they're less than 25 minutes, looking at 5 to 18 hours total. And then lastly, whenever we are doing our phonemic awareness lessons, we keep them quick because it's most effective to only teach 1 or 2 skills at a time. So within phonemic awareness, there are 6 layers that students need to master. They get more and more difficult. So starting at the bottom, the simplest in the red, we have phoneme isolation. That's simply being able to identify individual phonemes. And from there, we move up to blending, segmentation, addition, deletion, and substitution, which is showing that students are able to manipulate the sounds. So today, we're going to look at resources for teaching all of these levels. So, one important part of phonemic awareness instruction is identifying where our students are in their phonemic awareness skills. So we recommend that all students in kindergarten be assessed throughout the year for phonemic awareness. And teachers can then use the assessment data to identify the specific part of phonemic awareness where students need to improve. We can then group those students into small groups based on those skills, and then use evidence-based strategies to implement systematic phonemic awareness instruction to those groups. Okay, so that was a lot of information and a lot of research thrown at you. And so now I want to pass the microphone over to my co-presenter, Paige, who's going to get really practical for you guys.